Oh my goodness, this is probably going to be the best one ever. Like it's like it's absolutely it's like this one's going to be mind numbing. Like I am in a hypopia moment. My guess is the three of you may be in a hypoxia moment, which is fine. So welcome everyone to Voices of Integrity Top Gun Sales Boot Camp Training. Just really cool. Nora, what you got?
My numbers yesterday were 43%.
Nice.
Your email last night inspired me to do some other numbers. So,
Nice.
I'm at 66% in business X-ray sales for the year.
Nice.
The conversion rate for the business X-rays into Action Vision is 50%.
I
And
don't.
my billable hours for this year.
It you probably cut out because you don't have the fiber or the other thing.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay, now you're back.
Um, the conversion rate for the business X-rays was 50% or is 50%.
Yeah, I don't. You mean for this year?
Yeah, for
Okay,
this year.
gotcha. Copy that. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, and then the first 2 weeks, which was the email, first 2 weeks in February, I was making $146 an hour for my billable hours.
Right. Dang, girl. And that's nothing. That's nothing. That's just like it's like we're not even in our groove yet. And the systems, so the skill levels going up, disciplines are going up, and being in flow is going up. And so all of that's moving forward. The technology is rising along with it. The servicing team is going up. Like everything's starting to go ahead and get into flow. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. Yepper. Anything else you got?
Okay, so yeah, so I have this client that's like pretty frustrated with some technology stuff. Um, I don't know how to best handle that. Do you have any suggestions or thoughts?
Well, I think it goes back to your voice in my headset. And so what's happening is the same thing that happens in friendships and relationships. Um, what happens is um, certain personalities go ahead and they do they do things for a season of time. They they win your heart or think they win your heart, and then they take advantage of you. And so there's hard force and soft force, you know. And so one of my sons-in-laws, he's like, he doesn't like when I use hard force. The amiable doesn't like it. Oh my goodness. They love to live in the soft world because that's where they can weave their magic, their words. Like they can take their words and their feelings and they can go ahead and they can manipulate it, and that's their world they live in. They just do. And they get what they think they want, but for men, they turn out to be wusses. They just turn out to be, and they're imposters. I mean, it's just crazy. It's so interesting to see this, and and so what you often have to do with those individuals is hard force. So I said to my son-in-law, he's like, I don't like when you use hard force. I'm like, I don't like it either. Do you know why I use it? He's like, no, it's because nothing else works. It just doesn't work. And so there was an email this morning that kind of addresses that. And so it's fascinating on your voice in my headset on friendship, on how that connects into business and how it connects into sales. So people want the benefit. They want the benefit that comes from friendship, but they don't want the responsibility that comes from it. And so you have to flip over to hard force, and people know leverage. See, this is what's fascinating, Nora. You went ahead and said at church 2 weeks ago, you said, I leverage everything. What I realized, I don't leverage much of anything. I mean, other than myself and my work and everything I do to help other people, but I don't leverage like I don't leverage my marriage, and I don't leverage my kids or my grandkids. I don't leverage friendships. I just don't leverage things. And it's like, what I'm realizing is that people are hurting themselves and other people. So if people hurt me, whatever, it is what it is. That's what happens. Like, whatever. When they hurt themselves, I don't know. I'm learning not to care. Like, whatever, you can hurt yourself. But when they hurt other people, that's an issue to me. And that's going to take a lot of hard force. And so they're going to continue to do it. So the people that do that, their greatest fear is being exposed. And they tend to go into occupations where the group protects them, like pastors, and all the pastors protect them and the parishioners protect them. They go into law enforcement and they get protected. They might go into pilots and being pilots, and the pilots protect one another. So they tend to go into groups of people where they're protected. And they're going to hurt the people in the groups, but they protect in the group, so they're protected, and people don't realize how damaging that can be. And that's where, really, really bad things happen. And so now that I'm finally figuring this out after 62 years old, I'm like, dang, that makes a lot. Now I'm understanding it. So it's just, you leverage it through exposure. So if you'd hope, like I told my son when he was 9 years old, like, you hope that people do things out of a purity of heart. Like, this is the right thing to do it. If that's not enough motivation, just do the right thing. But they're mind shifters, and they've been that maybe since conception. I don't know. I'm not God. I'm not a woman. I don't know these things. I'm not Patrick. Like I don't know these things. I know, I'm observing this stuff. And so what they do is they've had their whole life where they're gaming systems, and the people closest to them can see it. But often, I don't know. Yeah. Anyways, so if that's not enough motivation, you do it out of friendship. Like, really, you're going to go out and screw your friends? Really? And they will. They just do. And so, and if that's not enough motivation, you do it out of hard force. You're going to be exposed. You are going to be exposed for who you are. And you hope, and then those people, what they do is, it's fascinating, those people in relationships. It's so cool to see. What they do is, even your own kids, you're like, really? Like, really? Your own wife, really? You're going to do this stuff? Like, wow. But it's good when you have your wife and your kids do it, because then you see when other people do it, you go, oh, I've been down this road before. So what you do is you go ahead, and it's like, wow. And so then what they do is, their number one technique is to go and say, you're trying to control my life. No, actually, no. What I'm trying to do is help you learn how to control your life. But if you won't, well, then, you know what? I will, because I know, because I can see the future. It's not brainstorm. It's not rocket science. It's not hard at all. It's easy to see these things. The only ones they go ahead and don't see these things are the people who are willfully ignorant. I would call them stupid. They don't see patterns in themselves and they don't understand. And so you put systems in place to protect people. Maybe you can't protect the stupid person. Bonhoeffer is in the law of stupidity. Maybe you can't protect them. And if they go ahead and die, fine. If they go ahead and mess up their own lives, you know what? Fine. They mess up their marriages, fine. They mess up their own kids. I don't understand it, but maybe there's nothing you can do about that. But when they mess up other people, maybe there is something you can do about that. You just expose them for who they are. I don't know if that makes sense, Nora.
Not necessarily, but that's
okay. As you get older and you have more life experience and you get hurt more, you haven't been hurt very much. And I get it. I understand. You're young. But as you do, you'll start to see these patterns and then all of a sudden they'll make sense. So it's okay that you don't, but you will in the future. Anything else you got, Nora?
No.
Nice. Kenny, what you got?
I don't know why we have these situations so often, so frequently, but we have, today we're finishing up a client and she had some issues with some of our subcontractors' work. And I just want to make sure everything, she's happy with everything that we do and we can finish out the job with her having a good experience.
So the reason for this is because you're dealing with human beings.
Right. Uh-huh.
And so Dreamscape is trying to find its way. It's in its third year. So it's trying to find its way, and it's hard. It's hard to recruit people. It's hard to develop them. It's hard to, it's hard to do all of those things. It's just hard. And so you go and try plan B, and plan B is work with other people. But what you find out is other people, they have the same issues you guys do. And so, when you look at business models, you guys are looking at being, area 1, 2, 3, and 3, and you're going to farm out the other, contract it out, and you find out, shoot, their workers suck as much as your own workers do. And it's like, and so it's like, then you go, really? So I've got to go ahead and help all my subs. I've got to help them recruit the right people. I've got to go ahead and help them develop the right people, manage the right people, do the right projects. I've got to do all of that. Yipper. Well, why don't I just do it myself? Exactly. And so, welcome to business. Welcome to the dream of business.
Pretty much.
And so, you know what? The only thing worse than that is probably Nora, Luke, either of you know what's worse than business? Owning your own company. Well, kids for sure. Yeah, for sure. Can't exchange them, can't fire them. Yeah, for sure. Yep. Sorry, what else, Luke?
Hell.
I thought I was thinking that was like business and maybe anybody else know? Come on, Nora. You got to know.
Marriage?
What's that?
Okay, never mind. Marriage? I don't know.
Right? Well, depends on which of the two you are.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's interesting. You say, what do you mean, Mark? Yeah, good question. So there's two types of people in a marriage. They're one that works hard, takes all the pain, goes through all the suck cleanup after the other one just gets absolutely destroyed, or the one that goes ahead and does all of the destroying. And um, so you might be thinking, really? Yeah. And do you still promote marriage? Oh, absolutely. For sure do it. For sure do it. Um, and um, so which one is the one that's actually in hell? The one who's taking advantage of the other one, or the one that's being taken advantage of?
Depends on if you're looking short term or long term.
Just again, Nora's not drinking. This is just her internet connection. So what do you mean by that? Short term or long term?
Well, if you look at the first 2 weeks in February and what I was able to accomplish, you would have thought it was the best 2 weeks of my life.
Right? Like, right?
Maybe it was, but it's like if you believe in trauma weeks, it would have been trauma weeks both weeks.
Right? So, um, so what's fascinating about this, and the same thing happens in business. Same exact thing happens in business. It's fascinating. It's like the people addicted to lazy, who have a very addictive personality, don't realize it. They're the ones that seem to get away with everything. Unfortunately, their life sucks because they don't grow. And they have issues with self-esteem, self-confidence. They have issues with they're imposter. Like the reason they feel they're an imposter is because they are an imposter. And so they have one or two people that cover for them their whole life. It's just crazy until they burn through that, and then they go through another one. So, so the long term, but when you're talking long term, Nora, what might you be talking? Yeah, I didn't think you'd know.
I'm thinking like the rest of my life.
Yeah, no, no, it's worse than that, or better than that. It's
Eternity?
eternity. It's eternity because it's forever. Like, I don't think Nora recognized the significance of when somebody asked her some God question or spiritual question, and she said, like he said, something about why do you God, something God, and she says, eternity, it's forever. Now she's probably kicking herself because Mark's latched onto that and said, dang, that was good stuff. Because it helped to explain everything. So, what's worse than owning your own company? For sure. I can't believe none of you know this. Like, this is just so cool. It's law enforcement. I can't believe you guys didn't know that.
Interesting.
See, none of you understand law enforcement. You guys don't understand it. So there's two types of people that go into law enforcement. Kenny, what are those two types of people? See, Kenny doesn't pay attention to life as much as I do. It's okay. I'm not saying it's because, like my son says, Dad, how do you have such a great memory? You're 62. like, my son's 27. I said, because you had your first drink and it's never been the same since. So Kenny's not paying attention to life. It's okay. He's 25. I'm sure it's going to come around. Ken MacArthur said this, Kenny. You still don't remember?
I don't.
Yeah, he said there's two types of people going to law enforcement. One people who care, and the other people who have ego. See, women aren't going to go ahead and see this. They just aren't. Why? Because they live in some type of, fantasy world. Oh, you always wanted to dream to do this. It's a fantasy world. They live in a world of fantasy. It's a world of make believe. They just do. And it's okay because they're girls. But when a man becomes a girl, that doesn't work out well. Does that help you both, all three of you, or not so much? Not so much. Let me go further. So Ken got in and out of law enforcement because he was one of those who cared. The egos stay in. Why is that, Mark? Because you can last 6, 7 years. Like, dang, you know a lot about law enforcement. How do you know all of this? Right? That's what I'm saying. Roughly 7 years. Because the ego gets fed for 7 years. You're chasing people and the bad guys, and everybody thinks it's amazing, and your ego, and you're one of the true blue. And, people go ahead and pay for your breakfast, your lunch. People go ahead and admire you. People think you're just amazing. People lift you up, and you get the masses that go ahead and do it. And so you're the ego and the dopamine works for about 7 years. And then all of a sudden you hit a wall. And all of a sudden it's like, so I have to overlook this police officers. Yeah. And you see, and then they come down, they're infinitely harder than the Amish. Infinitely harder than the Amish. You have to overlook stuff. In the Amish, there's sexual abuse, and there's all kinds of mess, and, Amish boys raping, Amish girls, and the parents of the Amish girls, they tell the girl that they can't report them to the police. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of crazy stuff. It's just bad or worse in the police, and you can't do anything about it. So you just go along with it, and it just eats you out from the soul. And then you go ahead. So it's definitely worse. And you don't get the upside, you don't get the upside of the business of owning a company. Eventually, if you're smart, you listen to somebody, you have somebody that actually, has experienced it, gone through it, and willing to go ahead and just give all that they've had to you and help you pave the way and help you say, yeah, it's going to hurt. It's just going to hurt, but this is what you need to do. You do this. So if you have somebody in your life, which I didn't, I never did have anybody in my life. I had to figure this whole thing out on my own, which, is fine because I understand, like, there's a tremendous amount of power that's been given to me, but I've been through it. So it's like, so I appreciate it, value it, hopefully know how to control it rather than it controlling me. Anything else, Kenny, you got?
No.
Okay. Luke, what you got?
Yesterday I did 30%.
Nice.
So we're working on closing the ultimate sale.
Right.
How do we close them up? Just check our numbers or.
Well, he's closed up. He's closed up. See, you and Kenny didn't have to spend the 4 years. You guys weren't 100% straight commission. Didn't have a wife and, a house and wife who was 3 months pregnant and make $1 an hour. You guys didn't need to go through any of that pain. Like, you guys probably didn't even appreciate what happened. I mean, ish, but you guys don't understand because you guys didn't pay the price. So you didn't go through the pain, the suffering, the risk, the trauma, all the other stuff. And you're like, is that trauma? That's not trauma. That's just, I eat that stuff for breakfast. like, so yeah, no, he's sold up. The question, what's interesting is I've had, I don't know what, an hour with a guy. And so I have more confidence in him than I do you and Kenny. So the question is, are you and Kenny going to step up to the plate, and are you guys going to deliver?
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to do that, Luke?
I think so.
Okay. Kenny, are you going to do it?
I think so. Yeah. If I know how or what to do.
Well, Nora, Luke, do you guys think Kenny knows how and what to do? What's a sense, a gut feel?
I think, yeah, ish, kind of.
Interesting. Fascinating. Okay. Nora, how about you? What do you think? What's your gut feel?
Gut feel is if he doesn't, then he'll figure out a way to figure it out.
Really fascinating. Okay.
Do you think he knows what to do?
No, not a chance. Doesn't have a clue. Doesn't have a clue. He does not have a clue.
So what do you do with that?
What do I do with it?
Or what is, I guess, someone doesn't have a clue what to do. What do they do?
Well, see, you can tell, right, by their response. I mean, if you don't know what to do, somebody's telling you don't know what to do, you go, well, so what do I need to do? Like, is that really brain surgery or rocket? It is for some people. People who have the ego and they think they're so smart and they think they can figure things out, but they can't. They can't. They can't even ask a simple question like, what do you like? Because they don't have the humility. They have so much ego, so much pride, so much of everything. And so, questions, Kenny?
So what I need to do.
Right? That's a good start. So Luke's leading the way. So Luke's leading the way. So you need to learn to go that you're not that smart. You need to learn that you don't have things figured out. You need to learn that you're going to need to make sacrifices. You need to learn to listen. You're going to need to learn don't game the system. And so you're a gamer of the system. You just are. I mean, it's okay. You're an amiable, expressive. That's what you are. You're just a gamer of the system. You game people. You just game them. So you're slippery. You're like all 3 of my sons, slipperier than all get out. My gracious. Anybody know where those 4 boys got it from?
Is it their dad?
That's what that's what the expressive says. Yep. Yipper. That's what they say. Yeah, those 4 boys got it from somebody else. And nobody wants to ask who they get it from.
Their mom.
They got it from their mom. Yeah, I met Kenny's dad, and I don't know. I think he's a cool guy. I like the guy, so I liked him, got along. I met Kenny's mom, and I liked her too. My guess is if you go ahead and poll, everybody in their lives, that that people will go ahead and probably, not like Kenny's dad more than not like Kenny's mom. If you polled all the people in my wife and I's life, people would like Rosanna more than they do me. So you can tell very quickly what they do is they learn from the women, the girls, to game the system. And, yeah, that doesn't work so good in business. Just doesn't. And it'll work for 7 years in law enforcement. And then it's not. But by then you're hooked. You're married, you have kids. You don't have really any option out. What else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? So you were in the pre-show, always come early, always stay late. You were going to ask a question, Kenny. What was that question?
If you have reason to if you have reason to need or want a commitment from me.
Right. And that was a sincere question.
How do you know?
I could feel it. You could feel it in your tone. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm giving you too much credit. I tend to do that with people. So do you think it wasn't a sincere question?
I think it was, yes.
Okay, I think it was. I think it was a sincere question. And what that revealed to me is how you totally lack self-awareness. Like you just aren't aware. You're just so clueless. Poor guy. So, like in the 4 years you and I have known each other, like how many times have I not followed through on something I said I would do?
Once.
Nice. What's that one time?
You wanted to send my mom flowers or something, a gift.
Okay.
Or my parents. I think it was my parents.
Your parents?
Yeah.
Copy that. Cheapers. And that would be okay to do? Like, it wouldn't create issues or anything?
That was 2 years ago, probably.
Right.
3.
Yeah. Probably 2 years ago. Right.
I don't know now. I don't know.
Well, what about then?
And then I know you asked me then. I told you it'd be okay.
Right. And I can trust you. So you're fine. Interesting. So I think it'd be easier now than then. Then I don't know. So I love that. Kenny and I, you all might think, boy, Kenny and I went ahead and orchestrated all. We didn't. I mean, I am so excited right now. It's insane. I mean, it is absolutely insane. Why is that?
I don't know. Why is that?
Luke, Nora, either of you know?
No.
Really?
Making a breakthrough?
It's cool. Like that you guys don't know it. That never happens. I mean, never. I mean, Edward Rivera, when I ask him in 20 years of friendship, is there anything I've ever said that I was going to do that I didn't do? He couldn't come up with one. You ask my wife, 41 years of marriage. You ask her, is there anything Mark's ever said he's going to do that he didn't do? It never happens. Like, it just doesn't. Ooh, now we got one that did. And I can fix that. I can fix that one. So it's really cool that it's there. Because then I'm a human being. Or am I? So Kenny, how many things in the last 4 years, how many times do you think you said you're going to do something and you haven't done it?
Maybe 23.
Okay. I'll go with your number. I haven't been tracking them, but it's a lot. I mean, it is a lot, like a ton. And so, anybody else have any other questions? So this is why church is important every single week. Every single week, because Kenny helped me to see something. So Kenny, I said to him 2 weeks ago, I said, Kenny, I mean, that was a church service. That was a church service I'll never forget. I said, Kenny, you know, I could make you mad. He's like, really, you think you could? I'm like, you got to be kidding. You got to be kidding. Game on. And I said that. I said, really? And he shifted gears, backpedaled, really, like you're in a boxing ring. Like, you can really hit me. Okay. Boom. And then all of a sudden he's like, whoa, I don't think you would. Really? So I asked him the next day, because I listen. I asked him the next day. So I'm like, what do you mean by that? He says, because of the impact it would have, you know, the impact it would have on everybody else around you. I'm like, oh, you're like Hamas, like the terrorist group over. There's not a judgment. It's just an observation. And so I'm not judging Hamas. I'm not judging them. They use women and children as human shields. Why? Because they're weaker than Israel. And that's what men do. Men who are weak go ahead and use women and children. That's what they do. They have to. It's their only defense. I'm like, he says, I don't know who Hamas is. I said, oh, they're the terrorist organization over in Israel that use women and children as shields. And he's like, is that bad? I'm like, right. I wonder where that training came from. It's fine. It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. I said, well, if you're the women and children, I mean, unless the women are stronger than the men, or the children are stronger than the men. If the women and children are stronger than the men, well, then it's good for the man, because he's weak and helpless. And he grows up and he becomes ashamed of himself. He doesn't have confidence. He doesn't have courage. It's just weird. But it is what it is in the groups. In groups of men. They come together and they use women and children as shield. It's just fascinating. So, all right. Always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.